Today we are going to do the first of hopefully many fall, dare I say winter already, makeup looks. Let's combine some darker, smokier shades with pops of freshness. The Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint SPF 30 in the shade ST 2.5, which is quite nice for my light olive skin. As you can see, it has that touch of greeniness to it, and I'm applying it as a first layer of complexion. This is not supposed to be my full coverage thing. It's supposed to give my skin a little bit of juiciness back, because this gives quite a lot of hydration. There is a new concealer on the market. It's the Westman Atelier, what are you actually called? Vital Skincare Concealer. And I have the shade L2. This is the formula. Don't mind my scratch. I play a lot with my very wild cat, and yeah, that happens a lot. We have a liquid that is also quite creamy, and it is drying down. It has a dry down, so you can use it perfectly to spot conceal. It's supposed to be self-setting. Let's apply it on that spot here so you can see a little bit better. I would say it's medium to medium full coverage. Now I'm concealing around my nose with minimal product because the texture is quite dense in pigmentation. You only need a little bit. Work yourself up. You can always go back in for more. And I like to take it from my hand first, and especially if you have rosacea or acne prone skin. Your skin around the compromised area, so the redness, is mostly going to be a little bit dry from healing. This is why going in with your product basically in the brush first, it's going to be much softer on that more dry skin than going in with the applicator first and then having to maneuver all that product around like dry skin or patches. It's much easier to work from the brush itself. I always like to choose a waterless concealer underneath the eyes because then it just doesn't float around. This is the Monica Blender Cover in the shade 2.5. Once again, we're covering with color more than with texture, and only where we really see the discoloration, which for me is more bluish based, which is why I use a more peachy concealer. You can use your fingers with that because it just melts in so nicely. This is the brand Simi Haze. I've been wanting to try this fun brand for a while now. So nice. You can stack these together. So yeah, let's play. And this is the Simi Haze Cream Bronzer. I picked up the shade Cedar, I think, because it looked quite nice for my light olive skin. Color has a little bit of a yellowy, slightly orangey base to it. I don't mind that. I thought it has a little bit more of a neutral base to it as well. But I can definitely work with that. I think this color blends in nicely, and that formula is so lovely. I'm gonna mix Linen and Shroom liquid eyeshadow, the mattes by Gen Z, which are my favorite liquid eyeshadows. These are quite versatile as well, so you can also use them on different areas of your face. I'm gonna mix these two for a taupey, cool toned brown. Apply my Shroomy shade, applying it from the lash line up, switching my finger to a finger that is without any product to blend it out. You can also use a fluffy brush to make sure the edges are nice and clean. I'm using a smaller brush to apply the shade underneath the eye, nice and smoky. Dare to go a little bit lower. This is Yubari Pencil by Manazi 7, so you can see it's just a intensified version of that color with a little bit of that taupey lilaciness to it. That's even a word. We're gonna smoke it out quite intensely, putting that pencil in between my lashes, like really wiggling it in, not being too precise, layering the color in at the outer corners of my eyes, underneath as well, where both waterlines kind of meet. I'm gonna use a smaller brush, loading my brush up with that pigment right here and pulling it out. Intensified the crease just a little bit on this side so you can see the difference, right? And what I did is use that pencil, no eyeshadow powder whatsoever, and then I use a small blending brush and dip into that pigment. So it's really just a hue of pigment now on my brush. And then I'm going to softly feather it into the crease to give that repetition of color, of course, but also the depth for my smoky eye without needing yet another color. It will last because it sits on that very long lasting liquid eyeshadow, and the more you buff a product out, the better the longevity is. Use the powder bronzer by Arho, a more intensified version of my cream bronzer that I was laying down first. I'm going to fluff it on with a very soft brush, but I'm still stippling with that soft brush. By layering a powder on top of a cream, you will guarantee more longevity out of your makeup and also so much more dimension. You know, I always like to put down a first layer of blush. One of my favorite shades to do that is with Spell by Hermes. Neutral peachy beige, the perfect color for a more vibrant color to blend into. We're gonna use a nice cool toned pink, the highest point of the cheek. This is the shade Loyalty by Axiology. Let's pick it up on a brush. I am going to apply it on the highest point of my cheek, melting it onto that first layer of blush. And now we have a lot of dimension going, and this very vibrant color on me doesn't sit too intensely on my face. Do this one more time with you. So I'm gonna pick it up on my brush, buff it into the highest point, a little bit like underneath the outside corner of your eye is a good guideline, and then blend it into that first layer of blush. So there's no like vibrant color right here. This is where the soft color sits, and it just melts into that color. I'm gonna use the cruelty-free Levitation Lash, and this is the kind of mascara to go for a very nice grungy smoky eye, I think, because it gives the lashes intensity. I'm back. For you it's a millisecond. For me it's 45 minutes, and this is how the makeup is holding up. I mean, 45 minutes is not really a good judgment on how your makeup wears. It should be holding up for 45 minutes, but sometimes eyeshadows crease in about a few minutes, but this one hasn't. Amazing formula. Okay, we're gonna powder around the lip line to make sure the lip liner is holding up nicely, because I am using a creamier formula to start with. I'm gonna try the Simi Haze translucent powder. I'm gonna use a fluffy brush. I'm gonna powder the lip line, and while we're at it, you can powder on the areas that still look a little bit shiny. It's always great to have time to wait until your face really lets you know how much powder you actually need. I wouldn't go overboard with it because it does leave you quite matte. So you don't need a lot of it. It's nice. Mob 1990 lip liner. It's swatched right here. It is the original shade of Spice, a pencil by MAC, and I'm gonna use it to define and line my lip line. West Atelier Lip Suede matte lipstick in the shade Piqué. This was the only shade that really interested me in the lineup, because I thought if I spend 55 euros on, or 52 euros on a lipstick, it has to be a shade that I A, wear a lot, and B, it looks so pretty, and B, it has to be a shade that I don't own yet. Rosy taupe, and this is what it actually is. And I think it fits the lip liner quite nicely. And it's a very comfy matte. If you don't like the shine on a creamy matte, take a finger, pat it down, and then you have your matte formula. And I think this would look nice as a blush as well. But we have enough blush on already. That's it, everyone. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, we'll see you again very soon. Bye. Thanks for watching.